You are welcome to session 2 of our um, virtual training for campus trainees and our neighborhood reporters. The audio is delaying. I hear it's okay. Hmm? Hello, Tefa, are you there too? So I can see that quite a number of trainees are on. Um, I, good evening to you all. I'm glad you have turned up on time. It shows that our opening session 2 days ago was quite interesting to all of you. We we observed that on that first day, less than 50% of the registered trainees attended the program. For me, that was already a sign that we have 50% of people who are quite unserious. I want to point out that attendance is of utmost importance. Those who are not serious, we are going to begin to discover them from whether they attend or did not attend. And it's not just to attend. We also took note of those who were quite active, posting questions, posting comments during in the course of the program 2 days ago. So we encourage those ones to keep it. Your resource person left you that day with a question. I thought that by today, some of you were going to send answers to that question. Unfortunately, we didn't get the answer from even one person. It's not just to attend the virtual training. I pointed it out that first day. You are also expected to do some research on your own, do some reading on your own, and importantly, to make sure that you do whatever assignments that your resource person gives to you. Whatever assignment that your resource person gives to you at the end of every session. So at the end of today's session, there's also going to be another question. You will now submit the two assignments together by tomorrow, or worst case, Saturday. Tomorrow, we are also going to publish a list of those who attend today's program. I came today to point out to you people that attendance will take 20% of the marks that will determine those who are successful at the end of this program. Not only that, assignments, responding to assignments, doing them and submitting takes another 20% of the marks. So all of you have to take the whole of this program very seriously. There's a Google form that you need to register your attendance for each training session. The link has been sent to all of you. I believe even those who, if you do not have it now, you are seeing it already on the screen of whatever device you are using. You must send in your attendance, tick your attendance there and send it in, because we take attendance very, very seriously. The simulated reporting will start from next week. Your resource person will explain to you how you are going to do it. There are some of you who sent in questions concerning how are you going to be reporting. Will you be reporting in writing? Will you be reporting only audio, or will you be reporting with videos and all such questions? I've seen them. Of course, there will be a mix of all of that. Some of you ask if you can specialize. Yes, but you get the general knowledge first before you begin to decide to specialize. By Thursday next week, no, before even Thursday, by Wednesday, I mentioned 2 days ago that there will be an addendum to that engagement letter that you all have. It will explain all of what I'm saying now in detail, including even the marks that will be allotted for each category of performance that we expect of you. Today, I will also use the opportunity to introduce the GM of this company and the HRO manager that you have all been interacting with by mail and WhatsApp and all of that. Because I will not always be here every day as chairman of the company to be moderating this training program. So certain days, the GM will moderate. Other days, the HRO manager will moderate. In a few seconds, I will call them up for that introduction. But your resource person is going to join you very soon. The resource person is going to join you very soon. And I'm very sure that you will also enjoy today's program as much as you did the last one. Go and give Jude. There are some of you saying that the link is not working. In fact, many. I do not understand why the link is not working. Is it your network? Almost every person is saying the link is not working. I do not understand, but you can post. We are seeing the post. So how come the link is not working? For those of you who can hear me, can you just post a comment to say you are hearing me? Because I'm only seeing the comments of those who say the link is not working. Okay, now you are beginning to explain that it is the Google form, the link to the Google form that is not working. But can you hear me on StreamYard? If you can hear me on StreamYard, say you can hear me. Okay. 2 people have said they are now hearing me. Okay. So in a few minutes, your resource person for today will be with you. And then I will encourage you all to listen attentively to that lecture. So now that most of you have confirmed that you can hear me, let me continue from where I stopped. By next week, Wednesday, 3rd of April, you will get the addendum to the engagement letter that you have received already. It will explain all of the details of how the program will run. The criteria to retain some people after the 12 weeks of training will all be explained. There's nothing that is going to be hidden. There's nothing that we're doing here that is voodoo. So the seriousness that you need to put into this program will become clear to all of you by that next week. I also expected, very importantly, after the program that we had on 2 days ago. That was on Tuesday. I expected to see that you guys would have gone on to our social media handles to subscribe and also share, to like and share. But I didn't see much of that, and I wonder what you guys are doing already. Because we said it emphatically that that also is part of what we expect of you. Ultimately, if you do not start to do it, we have to we'll have to, begin to apply that also as a criteria for those who will take our company very serious and join the family or not. As the resource persons is not going to be only one for the whole of the other. We're already looking at how. So for today, it is the same resource person. So Tefa, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello.
You are saying that your audio is bad. Some are saying you can't hear. Some are saying you can from the network. So for those of you who are still hearing, I'm happy that you are hearing. Those who can't hear, I'm sorry, but the technical team is working very hard to see how they can get you back. Back joining us seamlessly so that you can hear what we are discussing today. But for those of you who can hear, did you get HR? Did you get Tefa? technical team is working very hard. Very soon, all of you will be able to hear clearly. Okay, I think some of the technical hitches have been fixed. The technical hitches have been fixed. I believe that most of you can now hear me clearly. It's clear now. Yes, I can hear. Very good. Or you are all sending messages now that the audio is very clear. Therefore, you are welcome too. Sorry, we've been having some challenges about the connections.
All right, sir.
We've spent 20 minutes struggling to see how we get clear audios and videos and all of that. Yeah.
All right, sir.
So you are welcome, Tefa.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay. I started saying that I was going to introduce the GM and the HR so that the class will get to know them. Then we've eaten into your time today, but it doesn't matter. I will just do that introduction and then I will leave you to carry on, Tefa.
All right, sir.
Some of you are still posting messages that you can't hear, and I am surprised because most other people can hear now very clear. So I will call on first HRO, Mr. Jude Ndelikuo. There are times when I will not be around to moderate these sessions, and he will be doing that in my place. So can you just put your face in the camera so that they see you briefly and you wave?
Are you there?
It's okay.
Okay.
So I will also call on Mr. Smith Sampson. Can you also come out? Mr. Smith Sampson is the GM, and he's been struggling with the technical people to get all these things fixed. That's why it took me a few seconds to get here. You can also just wave. Mm-hmm. It's okay, Tefa. We've taken your time. You can go ahead.
All right. Welcome once again to this wonderful program. For those of you who missed the first session, I will do a brief recap before we go into the main session today, which we'll be looking at media code of ethics. That will be our focus for today. Last session that was held, we talked about media, mass media, social media, and types of social media and their functions, in which we talked about the television, radio, newspaper, magazine, and online platforms such as Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X, YouTube, and some other applications of social media that are used for mass communication. Now, today we're looking at media code of ethics. Media code of ethics. You know, media code of ethics is synonymous to the rules and regulations of an institution. You know, when one gains admission into an institution, there are rules and regulations. Before a student starts lectures properly, they are given rules and regulations, the do's and don'ts of the institutions. So in the media, we have code of ethics that governs media operation, the morality of the media organizations, the things that are expected to be done by journalists to promote the organization and uphold the aims of establishing media organizations, which are to inform, to educate, and to entertain. In the course of doing this, journalists must be aware of the code of ethics. Accuracy is one of the code of ethics. Accuracy is reporting news accurately. When you go to the beat, the beat places of assignment. Beat could be the government house is a beat. The judiciary is a beat. You can be assigned to a beat in the judiciary, that is a court house, to go and cover news there, report court proceedings. Or you can be assigned to government house, that is a beat. Or you can be assigned to aviation, like maybe an airport, to report aviation stories, events. So those are beats to report. Now, accuracy is reporting news accurately, getting the facts the way they are. If you are reporting on issues of corruption, you must get your figures accurately. If you are writing stories of embezzlement by a politician or any body in any establishment or corporate organization, you must get your facts, because issues of figures must be accurate. Because if you write that someone embezzled or siphoned 6 million or 7 million when the person siphoned only 1 million, it's also a challenge. It's also a challenge because it brings issues. Sorry about that. The breakdown in the light. It's also a challenge because it brings issues that may be difficult to resolve, that may lead to litigation, a serious challenge. So one must have the ability to report accurately by understanding the procedures, understanding the way of confirming reports. If there is any event that occurred, you go to the right sources to get your facts accurately. You meet the appropriate people that will give you the facts accurately to report. So you must be able to put these things together so that you will not bring a report that will be inaccurate. Because if someone siphoned some amount of money or embezzles some amount of money, and the report carries a figure higher than what is embezzled, then it becomes an issue of litigation. Because despite the fact that the person did something that is wrong, you have exaggerated the person's crime, which is also terrible. It's an act that should not be welcomed. And in doing this, you must have your sources. There are sources that give this information. You meet them, and they will give you the information that is expected to cross-check your story. Now, when you write stories, you verify, you ask questions, you cross-check. You are sure that it is accurate before it is being published or broadcast. It must be accurate. Once there is level of inaccuracy, it can affect the credibility of the media organization that you are reporting for. Others will not want to patronize the media organization. They would classify the media organization as an organization that gives stories that are not accurate. So it will reduce viewership or readership or listenership, depending on the kind of media that is being projected. Then there is impartiality. Impartiality is one of the code of ethics that journalists are expected to follow. Impartiality. In your report, you must not be partial. You must be impartial. You must not take side. If you are reporting crisis, for instance, if you are reporting story of violence, maybe communal clashes between two communities, it is expected that you should be able to ask questions on both sides. You should be able to ask questions on both sides. You should ask what led to the conflict, and then you ask the other side wearing side what happened, and then you ask others and get their opinion and put the story together. You are not supposed to induce your own opinion in reporting such stories so that it will not distort the actual fact, because you have to be impartial. What has happened should be reported the way it is. So when partiality comes in, it affects the nature of the event. It gives viewers, listeners, or readers a different impression because of your impartiality by taking side and then writing to favor a particular side. You know, maybe you listen to one side and you didn't listen to the other, and then you concluded that it is this side A that committed the crime or ignited the violence. Once you listen to one side and you ignore the other, it becomes partiality. That is, you are being partial in your report, which means you have taken side. So as that happens, it affects the 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 nature of the news, because it is being reported partially. You know, you are not impartial. Now, once you project partiality in your report, honestly, you will not be doing any good to both sides. Another aspect of code of ethics is objectivity. Objectivity is reporting stories objectively, the way they are. Objectivity means you are not being subjective. Your own opinion is not induced in the report. As you have covered the event, you report the way they are. You are objective. That is, no subjectivity is there. Even if you are reporting crisis in your own area and your community is responsible for igniting any crisis, it is your responsibility to be on the side of objectivity. You shouldn't take side because it is your own community and you happen to be the correspondent there or the reporter there. Then you give reports based on sentiments, based on subjective view. That is, you induce your own opinion, your own view to favor your side. That is being subjective. So journalists are supposed to be objective in their reports. Objectivity should be upheld when news reporting is being carried out. It must be done in order to bring balance. You know, when you are objective in your report, you bring balance. Objectivity means that you should not induce your opinion. After writing, you shouldn't say that these people are at fault or these people are guilty, and then you now write about the sanctions or the punishment that should be given to them. No, it's not supposed to be like that. You are supposed to give the report the way it comes. It is left for the government or those who are saddled with the responsibility of handling those issues to know how to judge. Your own is to report the way things happened, and then the judgment is left for them to carry out. Another aspect is the fact of being protecting your source, protecting your source. You know, there are sensitive information that certain sources give when you are looking for news, when you want to do your stories, you want to do your investigation. That is the reason in reading news stories or other opinions, you hear they will tell you that a source that refused to appear in print or an anonymous source, that is to tell you that the identity of the person is being hidden, because we are not supposed to expose such people to danger, because there are certain persons that give certain information in confidence. It's a kind of information that is not supposed to be exposed. So once they give, it is your responsibility to protect your source. Your source must be protected. So it's part of the code of ethics, protecting your source of information. There are certain information that must be protected. You must protect the source. Otherwise, if you want further information about anything, your source will not give to you. So you have the right to protect your source. It's not every report that your source must be exposed. It is part of journalism. It is accepted in journalism to protect your source or sources. so that you'll be able to get more stories if any event occurred for more stories to be obtained. Then plagiarism is also something that should be avoided. The Code of Ethics preaches against plagiarism. Plagiarism is intellectual theft. When you obtain material from a source and then you fail to acknowledge that source, it becomes plagiarism. You are using someone's information without giving credit to the source. It becomes intellectual theft. Media Code of Ethics preaches against that. If you want to use any information from any source, you need to give credit. That is why in journalism, if you happen to report anything covered by another media organization, credit must be given to that media organization. If you want to add anything to that, you first acknowledge that the report obtained by this day says or stated that this event occurred, and the further investigation by, because the report by this day or the nation may be a tip for your own media organization to use that as a foundation or background to do more investigation. So you need to acknowledge this day or the nation for being the source of a story that has led to your own media organization to dig further to bring more stories that this day or the nation gave the tip or the foundational information that led to your media organization having more of the story for a dissemination. So plagiarism is not accepted. So you must stand against it, and you must be able to give credit to sources appropriately. Once you use any material, you acknowledge the source. Once you use any media platform, you acknowledge the source. Once anybody gives you information, you acknowledge that the information gotten from an anonymous source. Then if the person wants to be identified as the source of the information, you give credit to the person who gives that information to you. A particular source, or by name, Mr. John, a staff of this accepted or witnessed or agreed or stated or said that this happened on so day and like that. So you put it in such a way that you give credit if the person wants the name to be on print or on TV or radio. In some situations, they will tell you, no, you shouldn't mention my name. So it becomes an anonymous source. That is how it happens. And then the issue of credibility. How credible is your story? How credible is your report? So some persons talks about media credibility, that a particular media organization is not credible. Now, credibility of media organization covers a range of activities. One, the nature of the reporters, how they report news, the way the media ownership handles issues. That is why you see some persons have different perception about NTA, AIT, Channels Television, Arise TV, based on various way of reporting that has been influenced by media ownership. So the credibility of a station depends on many factors. It's part of the ethics, because this one comes from the ownership down to the management and rest. Because the ownership of a station may decide to, or a media organization may decide to take side. Like politically, some may decide to take sides, like AIT owned by late Raymond Dokbese, TVC owned by our current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So all these stations are owned by people who are politically affect accuracy, will affect accuracy and bring shortcomings in other aspects. So it is the responsibility of reporters to try as much as possible not to bring activities that will discredit organization. There are certain activities that, if they are not done accurately, can discredit. It deals with the character of the media, of the reporter. It deals with the management of the organization. It deals with the credibility of a station is what makes people or a media organization, what makes the audience to be glued to such media organization, to be ready to access news. When you are credible, whatever post your makes, people will be eager to read because they believe that this people news is always credible. The credibility of the news, accuracy, fairness, and impartiality. So journalists are expected to adhere to this code of ethics. Code of ethics is different from media law because in subsequent sessions we'll be looking at media law. Code of ethics in most cases do not have legal implications, though it may just be the issue of morality, the issue of discipline, how a station is being run, the things expected to be done, the regulation within the media organization. Because one may not be fair in the report, but it will have any legal implication. One may be partial in a report, it may not have any legal implication, and one may not be credible, may not have any legal implication, but it will have a kind of a bad perception of that media organization by the audiences that perceive how media houses report. Because there was a point in time when people, the public or the audience, did not like watching NTA because they believed that NTA was extremely partial. They were only reporting things to favor the government and would not want anti-government views. So the viewership of NTA was not that buoyant because of the fact that a lot of audiences view NTA as a government-owned station, so they will not be giving that. So others opted for private stations where they normally tackle the government, because if you look at how things happen, people are more on the side of on the side of anti-government activities, especially when they are suppressed. So they want media organization that can bring objective view about the government, although not insulting the government, but will be able to analyze issues that they will have interest in, issues that will promote their interest, issues that will put them first, issues that will make them have make the government see the plight that they are going through. So they want stations or media organizations that will be reporting these things in their favor, that will promote the masses, the interests of the masses. So journalists are expected to ensure that all these ethical codes are upheld at all times. Once they are upheld, it makes the station to be attracted, or the media organization to be attracted to the masses. The masses or the audiences would want to always listen, watch, read programs on or from such stations because of the fact that these ethical codes are kept, upheld, and being practiced effectively by the media organization. So it is expected that journalists should hold this in high esteem. No matter the temptation to go against these ethics, it is expected that journalists should have that self-discipline to fight against going against these code of ethics, because it affects their media organization. Because the ownership or the owners of these media organizations may have their interests as well, but they are there to ensure that what is being transmitted or what is being written or what is being given out to the public or the audiences is accurate, is fair, is what will not bring the station down or will not make the audience see the station in bad light or see the media organization in bad light. So it is very, very important that reporters be grounded in media code of ethics so that they will be good journalists, they will be good writers, they will be good reporters, they will be good presenters. And for those who may want to have their media organizations too, they will know how to induce these values to the staffs that may be brought on board to do so. Thank you very much.
You have done so well. Trainees, I hope we are still on board. Okay, and in a little time, Mr. Tena is going to round up. But before then, we want to remind you that if you have not registered yourself, kindly do that so that we know who is present. Are you there? Let me hear a response from you. Just say you are here. You are still on board. That's good. Just like the CEO had said earlier, we must take this training seriously. At the end of this training, we will know who is going to remain with us and the number of times we are going to have you. Okay. You are still on board. That's good. You must take this training seriously. It's important. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Tena, before we run up, we still have some time. We still have
Yes.
some few minutes here. I would like you to reiterate to them again most of the basics that they need to really adhere to while undergoing this training. Thank you.
All right. Okay. The basics that should be adhered to while undergoing this training is one, punctuality is very essential. You know, punctuality. You have to be punctual, and that has to do with your presence for the training. You need to be here on time. That is the way journalists ought to behave when they are assigned to cover stories or events at any beat. You need to be there. If an event is supposed to take place by 10, you have to be there maybe 9:30 or 9:45, as the case may be. You must not wait till 10. So punctuality is a factor that must be upheld. It's a kind of quality that should be imbibed so that you will not fall short of any activity. Because once you go there late, you may miss a lot that you would have captured. You begin to ask others what happened, what went on, and the information may be distorted. So you'll be having second-hand information, which in turn you may not report accurately. And then the nose for news. You must have the nose for news. You should be always hungry for news. You need to know that at all times you need to hunt for news. It is not all the time that news comes to you. You have to go looking for news as well. So you need to hunt for news. How can you find news? There are a lot of newsworthy stories everywhere. You can report stories that we make significant impact. There are stories that once you report, no other media organization we have, because there are local stories that are very interesting that will have significant impact. So you must be ready to hunt for news. You must be able to source for news. You have nose for news. You sniff for news like dogs. You know, you sniff. You see how dogs sniff trying to find any dangerous material or any bomb anywhere. Police dogs, they sniff. So that is how journalists should do. Try to dig for news, look for stories. You know, let people know what is happening. There are certain things that are hidden. You bring them out and make the world to know. And then you have to have discipline and self-control. As you are representing an organization, so people should look at you to reflect the organization you are representing. The three-piece media that you are working for, let me say so, because at the end of the training, those who are punctual and serious will retain. So your character must reflect the aim, the ideas of the media organization. So you must be disciplined to be able to represent the media organization perfectly anywhere you find yourself, so that you will be outstanding among others. You need to be disciplined, cultured, your utterances, your interaction with people. your behavior should be in such a way that whenever people see, they'll say, yes, this is a very good reporter, works with 3-piece media. Their reporters are disciplined. They know how to talk to people. They know how to approach issues. Journalists are not supposed to be hot-tempered people. You're not supposed to be angry, because there are certain persons that can provoke a lot. They can say things that are annoying. So you have to learn to be patient and to tolerate issues. You ask questions. There are certain persons that they don't like being asked so many questions. So when they get angry, when you ask them too many questions, do not reply angrily or do not act angrily. You try to calm them down and see how you can elicit answers from them. You need to work on temper. If you are a hot-tempered person, you can't be a good reporter if you are hot-tempered, because some interviewees can be very, very provoking. They know how to make you get upset. So if you are the type that once you get upset, you walk away or you talk anyhow, then nobody will even want to attend to you next time you need any information. So all these things must be adhered to, must be followed, so that you will be able to represent this media organization very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The trainees, some of you had issues returning back your acceptance letters. We are still employing you to do that, sign and return them, and always be ready. When you have any problem, please let's have it at the emails. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Christina, we are not leaving them with any question to answer. Last session, they didn't answer the question you sent to them.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have any question for them?
Okay. Yes. I think if they have questions to ask, they can ask questions first. If they have questions to ask.
Okay. Do you have questions? Okay. Okay. I can't see the question. Can we report news affecting government?
Okay. What did the question say?
The question says, from God's power, is asking if they can report news affecting the government.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for the question. Reporting news affecting the government, I don't know the perception you are talking about, because the government too has problems, has challenges too. At times you hear government officials complaining of having issues with certain policies, or having shortage of manpower, or having inadequate funds to execute certain projects or carry out certain activities. So government too, they have challenges in some areas too, because allocation is being made, budget is being made, and the money is being given to certain agencies, parastatals, and ministries to execute certain projects. So if there are issues the government is facing, any ministry or agency or parastatal is facing, one can report about that and then see what can be done to make things better. We have been seeing that how the government has been facing other challenges. They will tell you the revenue is not good enough. This is not happening well. Some programs need to be modified. Some bottleneck needs to be removed to lead to, or some bureaucratic scheme needs to be worked on to make them work efficiently. So if a reporter sees that there are certain policies that are outdated, there are certain ministries, agencies, or parastatals are finding it difficult to operate based on those policies, a reporter is at liberty to report and encourage the government in power to revisit certain policies and modify them. That is the reason you see policy changes going on. There are times the government will say, okay, this policy is long overdue based on the current economic, socio-economic, or agricultural, or business or educational situation. These policies cannot work. So they will have to modify them and keep bringing new policies like that. That is why if you look at policies that are being implemented in our contemporary society today, are different from policies of the 70s, of the 80s, and of the 90s. So reporters can report things affecting the government once they sense that it's their duty to do that, because the media is to bring change positively to the society.
Thank you, Mr. Tina.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you.
Peniel Briggs is saying, good evening to you all trainers. I'm here live all the way from Itigidi, Abilelje. You're welcome. Adetutu Stephen is asking that on impartiality as a code of ethics, what happens when the reporter knows the truth about a story, since he or she can't be impartial or supportive of any party? He's asking what happens.
Okay, thank you for the question. It's a very intelligent question. You know, the duty of a reporter is to report things the way they happen. If you know the truth about something, you know, there are different types of reports. If you are conducting an investigative reporting, you know, investigative reporting is different. When you are doing investigative reporting is different from conventional reporting. You know, investigative reporting means digging deep to expose evildoers or to expose certain things that people may be hiding, certain practices that are detrimental to the well-being of others. So in a situation where you are conducting investigative reporting, you are digging the fact yourself. So in investigative reporting, the issue of impartiality may be viewed different, because you are the reporter digging deep to expose somebody. You know, that is why it's called investigative reporting. So as you are digging deep to expose an evil person, you have the facts at your disposal. You have done your research or your investigation. You have obtained your document from various sources. You have made comparison. You have called people who could verify certain information to be sure that it is true, and then you have been able to visit certain areas to see things for yourself. In that situation, knowing the truth, you will write based on what you have found out. You know, it depends on the nature of the crime or offense or the people involved. Certain investigative reporters don't expose their identity, don't reveal their identity. The report will come as a media organization reporting. The reporter will report for the media organization. So the media organization will be the one reporting the story. So there will be no byline, like by. You know, byline is the person who writes the story, maybe written corruption by a particular person. Then you put by Johnson Odo, which means Johnson Odo is the writer of the story. That's the byline. So investigative reports of intense corruption and other activities may not have byline, because the identity of the reporter needs to be concealed, so that the person may not face threat, because people you expose, they may be looking for ways to hit back at you. So that is why investigative reporting is risky. But when you are doing conventional reporting, you are reporting generally, assigned to a beat to report. Even when you know the truth of the event that happened, as you appear there and you are writing the story, You are reporting based on what you see. If there is any hidden thing that you have in mind, then you can meet your editor. You can discuss with him. Then there will be a developing story. There can be developing story of events. You can do one as the event progresses. You bring another story. As the event progresses, you bring another story. Gradually, they will be exposing certain things out. So it can be a development story or a developmental story that will be gradually unfolding the truth. So that is how it works. So you don't have to make it known that yes, you are taking side. There is a way it can be handled by working as a team and ensuring that the truth is unfolded. That is how it works in that aspect.
Thank you so much. I can see that many of you are asking how long is the training going to take place, and when you're going to start working. Just like the CEO said some minutes back, he said there's an addendum, and there's going to be a schedule. You'll be unfold to that in the next meeting. We were late a little bit because of the technical issues we had, and this lecture is supposed to be for just an hour, 7 to 8. We are going to communicate with you via emails, and links will be sent to you when we're going to have the next meeting. Thank you all. Mr. Tena, we appreciate you for your time, and we pray you're going to be with us in the next session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.